this was kind of lame on Sunday when, well, multiple things were lame about this, all the way back to Jonathan Gannon, the coach of the Cardinals, not making sure his players knew following the Colts debacle in week 4, no one is going to let go of the football until they are through the back of the end zone if they're going to score a touchdown, because we're not going to give up 7 points that way. Emari Demercado does that, capping a 72-yard run that would have been a touchdown by dropping the ball
unbelievable
at the goal line.
It's going to be 28-6 right here.
Hey, Chris, Devin yesterday was doing the here's what Bill Belichick would have done in New England the next day if the Colts thing had happened.
Right.
Showing the players and all the profanity. I mean, he self-edited, Devin did, but it was hilarious. I mean, Bill would have been like this, you know, and your job is to make sure your players learn from the mistakes made by others.
Yes.
And if Gannon did, it didn't take. He either didn't do it or the players failed to sufficiently respect him to heed his wishes. Either way, Demercado did that. It would have been 28-6. It would have been night. There was 12 and a half minutes left. It was over. It was done. It changes everything.
Yes, it did.
I saw after we talked about it on Monday, Chris, Jonathan Gannon, I saw that he told reporters, I think we said that. Yeah. He said one play. It was one play. It never hinges on one play. Yes, it does, because the game was over. If he scores that touchdown, if he holds that ball for that much longer, the game is over. The Titans aren't coming back from 28-6 with 12 minutes left.
Yeah, it was a huge moment of the football game. It started the waterfall or the downfall of the Cardinals right there. That was a drive that I believe ended up being a long field goal drive, maybe after.
No, they scored a touchdown.
The Titans scored a touchdown that drive. Then they went on a long field goal drive, the drive after that, and it just all started. And then we know Cam Ward threw the interception and that the Arizona Cardinals fumbled and they kicked it in the end zone. But, yeah, ultimately, I think Jonathan Gannon is got to be a little self-conscious about his reaction on the sideline. I think we have that video or whatever because, that was one where, I'm sure he felt bad about it. And then also, it just doesn't go over well in the locker room there. It's not a good look, like doing what he's doing right there. Why the guys are trying to console him, and because they know how bad he feels. He's got 2 offensive linemen telling him to keep his head up and do that. And not only does he rip into him,
he's hitting him.
He hits him. He hits him in the chest with a right hook there, right?
Including the hit as he walks away. I think the worst one and the one that we can see the best is the hit as he walks away. But the whole thing, like he's walking up like the guy in the grocery store with the holster on his belt and a gun, like here comes Sheriff, like, the whole thing. And he's got a teammate with his arm around him, consoling him.
Exactly.
And here comes Gannon acting like Bobby Knight.
That's worse than Bobby. That's Bobby Knight delusional at the end of his career where you're like, damn, does he realize there's laws in the country? You can't do that anymore? I mean, that was Bobby Knight at least just went crazy without hitting anybody in his prime. That there crossed the line, period. The NFL should have fined him or the Cardinals, whatever. No doubt about that. And he's going to have some work to do in the locker room because you're crazy if you don't think that locker room has talked all week going, that's effed up. That's the phrase that'll be used by all the players in the locker room. Man, that was kind of effed up. I won't say the word. You guys know the word. But, yeah, that ain't a good look for Jonathan Gannon there. I know that was a bad moment. And to your point, like, I played in the NFL for 8 years. The 3 head coaches I played for, they would have shown those mistakes that the teams made in a team meeting on a Monday or a Wednesday morning or a Thursday morning when you get there. I mean, John Gruden definitely would have given you a little update of things that went around in the league and what might have gone wrong or great, and we all would have seen it. Jeff Fisher was a master at stuff like that. I mean, he was a master. So, and then, of course, I played for Josh McDaniels, who was a chip off of what Devin McCourty was saying in the Bill Belichick block there, and the same thing. So, that's what I wonder, too. Like, did you show him that? Did you make that a point of emphasis to say, hey, let's not be this guy, let's not be a Donnie Mitchell from the Colts? I don't know. But either way, like I said, it doesn't look good on him and the way he reacted there.
Well, and the Cardinals weren't even playing on the Sunday that it happened. They'd played the prior Thursday night. So it's not like, we're too busy, we're in London or whatever. They had a chance to digest all of it. And look, the coaches who have everything buttoned up and are on their details, and are thinking next level, they do things like that. And we've talked about that before. We've talked about how, certain coaches, they study every play, every touchdown. They look for ideas. They're constantly plugged in and thinking, how can I take what's happened with other games, good and bad, and help my team? So when you see the Mitchell play with the Colts, there's a way that you help your team. Hey, guys, just so we're clear on this, we can't be doing this crap.
Right.
And it's an opportunity to, engage in a little performative ranting that's not directed at anybody in the room, just so you give them an idea of what they're going to get if they do it. So either Gannon didn't do it, which is a failure, or he did it and it didn't take, which is a failure.
Right.
And I think that there was some projection in that clip of him accosting Emari Demercado because Gannon's disappointed in himself that he didn't make it clear enough.
Maybe.
We can't do this.
Maybe.
Now, look, I've heard from plenty of people who said, hey, this is a professional athlete. The guy's 26 years old. He should know better. And he should. But he didn't do it on purpose. He didn't. Now, this was inadvertent. The Jerry Jones middle finger wasn't. This was. He wasn't trying to give up a touchdown. He wasn't trying to hold down his fantasy points. He wasn't trying to keep the Cardinals from hitting the money line. He just made a mistake. And there was a time in football, and it gave me flashbacks to 1975, 50 years ago. This month, standing around on the practice field, coach will kick you in the ass. 10 years old. I've told this story before. It's one of the reasons why I never stop now. And maybe it's PTSD. I don't know. It's helped me in some ways. But I still think about standing around and getting a foot up your ass. And back then, I guess, I don't know if the parents just weren't paying attention or
that was standard protocol.
Accepted.
Yeah. Right.
Dragged around by your face mask, slapped in the helmet.
Yeah.
I've told you the story about the guy that pulled up on the block punt opportunity. So the coach got the ball and punted it straight into his single bar face mask 10 times because he pulled up. I mean, those days are over. And I asked the union on Monday night if they had any comment on it, and they didn't. And I got the impression they weren't necessarily aware it even happened, frankly.
Well, they're lucky. They're lucky that, Emari Demercado is a good guy. I mean, you do that to the wrong guy on a sideline, right? And maybe that's why Jonathan Gannon did it to him. Maybe he knew he could do that and get away with it. But man, you pick the wrong guy on that locker room, and do that to them on the sideline. That could have blown up into a disaster, right? Like, I can't imagine if he did that to, let's just say Budda Baker. Budda Baker, we know how intense he is, a veteran, whatever. Like, he did that, I think the whole sideline blows up. It blows up. Like, I mean, that to me is where it's not a good look either. And I'll sit here too, and I'm just going to say this because I know we got to move on, but one more thing. Did they have pylon cam views in that game? Like, I still sit there and watch that play and go, I don't think he necessarily lost control of the ball before the goal line.
The pylon cameras are only for certain games.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Cardinals
that's
wasn't
stupid.
One of those games.
Well, that's stupid on the NFL.
Remember, they put that system in. They put that system in of the fixed cameras in every stadium. So I assume they used that.
Okay, hopefully
to get a view of it because they needed clear and obvious evidence because ruling on the field was touchdown.
Yeah, because
so
I don't see anything
something
yet. Right.
They had to have seen something that we don't see. They have access to those cameras, and they were rolling them out last year in the stadium. And I think that. Well, I know that you don't overturn that without clear and obvious evidence. Yeah. That's not a pylon camera game, but every stadium has that
overturned
system.
Without clear and obvious every week. So I don't know if I don't know. This is still, I mean, he's holding the ball. I don't know. It's so close, but hopefully they had that view of the camera, like you said, because, the views I've seen so far, I don't know how you could overturn it.
So the fine for Jonathan Gannon is $100,000, and the league is not fining him. And it's funny, I saw one of the NFL media reporters posted it, and the way it read, it was like, the NFL is taking no action against Jonathan Gannon. Oh, by the way, the Cardinals fined him $100,000. I mean, the headline is the Cardinals fined him $100,000. And the union seems to be placated by it. And I will just say this, because you make a great point. If you mess with the wrong guy, you're going to have a problem.
Right.
And that whole thing's going to blow up. But that's how bullies operate. Bullies bully the people they think they can get away with bullying. There's certain people that they will leave alone. but then there are certain people on whom they'll prey. They don't. Now, there are some people who just bully everyone, and some people have had great success doing that, achieving significant jobs doing that. But most bullies are selective, and I think your instincts are right. And Gannon's were right. He could get away with doing that to Emari Demercado without Demercado beating the hell out of him.
Yeah, right. Exactly right. Yeah.
And wouldn't that have been something? That would have been a headline.
That would have been
something we talked about on Football Night in America. Good Lord.
No doubt about it.
We got to go, but I just feel like, and we know how routinely the Cardinals change regimes. That team's been around since 1898. No one's been the coach for more than 6 years. He's in year 3. This isn't going to be in the positive ledger on the pros and cons for keeping or moving on from Jonathan Gannon. It was an embarrassing display by him to not prevent it after it happened last week and to react the way he did, from the tough guy walk to putting his hands on the player multiple times to the walk away with the slap on the arm. It's just a bad look.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.